What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Movement6, and before we start, I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who subbed in the last few weeks. Your interaction, everything. It's a privilege to have you guys on the channel, obviously. If you're new here, drop a like, subscribe, hit those notifications buttons. I do want to start with a small apology. I wanted to upload every individual subject that I'm going to touch upon today. Independently, but I couldn't upload anything in the last week and a half. The flu got me, me and my family. My kid started, gave it to me, and that my wife is now 3 days in, 4 days, and I've never been so sick in my life. I just spend days on the couch at night as well, just coughing and coughing. I couldn't do anything, and I'm still not 100%, but I'm finally in a position that okay, now I want to talk about Call of Duty. But it did give me some time to read a lot and to check out other people's opinion about things that we're going to discuss today, because it's been a busy week. It's been a busy freaking week for Activision. You know, the layoffs, skill-based matchmaking, season 2, which actually is pretty decent, I think. But let's dive into that. So let's dive into the first topic, right? So multiple Call of Duty studios impacted by Microsoft, and this, gaming layoffs, of course. Ryan LeMay on .esport wrote an article which I think that it hits it home on how people are perceiving these kind of processes. You know, it's snowflakes everywhere. I even saw, and this is not to call him out because I really like his channel, Nero Cinema. I'm a big fan of the channel, a big fan of his content. I always like listening to him and his opinion on Call of Duty and the amount of dedication he has. But he made a video on this and he said, you know, we need to have compassion with these people. 1,900 people, they have families. Yeah, sure, they have families. But you don't have to have compassion with these people. You know, this is how shit works. Life is not a fairy tale. Life is not a Disney movie. You know, life is hard. Buy a helmet. So with Microsoft laying off 1,900 employees, multiple Call of Duty studios suffered cuts, including Triarch, Raven, Sledgehammer, and High Moon Studios. On January 25th, Microsoft reportedly let go roughly 8 or 9% of the 22,000 person company. Only 4 months prior, Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard for $70 billion, and Xbox Phil Spencer said the deal would build a culture that strives to empower everyone to do their best work. And then she continues, Spencer had a different tune today as he expressed condolences for his painful decision. It's not a different tune. Wake up, Ryan. This is, it's not, if you buy something for 70 billion, then you're going to decide what's going to happen to this company. There are people here that actually believe that life will continue as normal. No, Microsoft has his own people, his own studios, his own talent. They've got their own program manager, the community managers, their own Q&A people. And if you're being bought by that giant for 70 billion, everybody's job is at stake. Full stop. If you think that you can just continue your daily business as you've done for the last 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years, you're dreaming. You're an idiot. This is how shit worked. I've been there when two of the biggest tech giants in the cloud and infrastructure world merged together. I was there. I worked at one of those companies, and I was happily at the forefront on seeing how these things collide and work, and how these cultures come together, and what that also means for reorganizing the company, because you will have redundancy. And on top of that, if you just generally suck at your job, then you're out. Same goes with Twitter. You know, Elon Musk took over Twitter and laid off about 50, 60% of the people. Twitter runs still at normally, and as he said in the interview, it seems that you could run Twitter with just maybe 1/3 of the people. And that's a bit 2024, the day we're in. It's the day and age we're in, right? We're all busy with weird things in the workplace. Just focus on your job and deliver the best experience. And if you can't do that, or you're constantly delivering horseshit, like Call of Duty in the last few years, if you're managing a franchise that lost its face, its identity, and forgot where it came from, and you constantly every year deliver based on lies, Modern Warfare 2 is supposed to be the most advanced Call of Duty ever, with an unprecedented amount of support. It wasn't. Modern Warfare 3 is just a DLC wrapped for a $70 price tag with one of the worst campaigns ever. There is a limit to everything. And now with the Season 1 Reloaded, it completely broke the game. And what do you think? That your new boss that bought you for $70 billion is just going to sit there and applaud you? No. There is no reason to have sympathy for these people. Life is tough. Buy a helmet. I've been fired in my life. I've got sacked in my life. Doesn't matter. It made me in who I am today. It made me stronger. It made me better. It also made me rethink the mistakes that I've made in my life and work on that, improve myself. So stop feeling compassion for these people. This is how things work. $70 billion, you got a new boss, and he decides where we're going. So 1,900 people got sacked. Game runs perfectly, right? So Sledgehammer Games is the lead studio behind Modern Warfare 3, and the studio is still actively working on the game as part of the live content schedule. However, the Sledgehammer game multiplayer senior QA lead claimed on social media he had lost basically my entire team. Yeah, well, it still runs normally, so you didn't use a quality and assurance team because obviously Season 1 Reloaded dropped without quality and assurance. And now you've got he lost his basically entire team. Well, if you don't use your quality and assurance team, then why do you need him in the first place? So meanwhile, Raven Software is at the helm of Warzone as the Battle Royale just had a massive mid-season update, constantly rebalancing and hotfixing the game daily. The studio suffered losses as well. Well, unfortunately, I've been laid off, the former Raven Software Associated community manager said. I hope the COD community understands that I prioritize your voices every single chance that I got. Well, that's not how the community perceived it in the last few years, but okay. COD 2024 is rumored to be a Triarch-developed Black Ops series entry for the first time since 2020. The game will report set in the Gulf War with a strong focus on the CIA. Okay, blah, that's fine. They also have cuts. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I made a video a couple of weeks ago about that nothing will change. And if I'm looking at the core of the game right now, and that stands the annual release cycle, skill-based matchmaking, and the constant continuation on how COD has been operating in the last few years, I still stand by the fact that my fear is that nothing will change. But with this multiple layoffs and the change that is going to happen within these studios, I hope I can make a video in the coming few weeks that I was wrong. That's my aim for this, right? So okay, but layoffs, 1,900 people gone. Sympathy, yay. I would say it's hard if you're one of those 1,900 people, but this is just how life works. Either you suck at your job, and if two of those big companies just merge, then shit happens. So one of the other big news here is the skill-based matchmaking, right? Activision opened up on skill-based matchmaking months ago, and then it remained completely quiet. And they finally. Oh my God! Just a sec. Still not 100% recovered. Sorry for that. So Activision published an all-new Call of Duty blog post breaking down the ins and outs of the much-debated mechanic known as skill-based matchmaking. It was something that was promised months ago, and although it has taken a while, the full explanation of what it is and how it works is finally here. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's a decent peek behind the curtain. So these people are already assumed that this is the actual truth. So we've seen the diagram, if you will. You can see it right now. But it just said that it based on multiple factors on the skill-based match. So connection, player diversity, recent maps and modes, time to match, skill and performance, platform, input device, and voice chat. I'm sorry, but I don't believe this. I just don't. It was stressed that when it comes to matchmaking, the most critical factor is connection. Ping is king. Yes, that's always king. But in second place on the importance chart is time to match, and the rest of the elements fill behind no particular order. So they actually try to minimize the skill based in matchmaking, which is not true. Because if I would fire up one of my Smurf accounts, which has one of the lowest KDs ever, and I'm playing a match and I'm getting into lobbies where I can kill everybody easily, but if time goes on, it starts to notice that my skill is higher than the people I'm playing against, and all of a sudden, within a few matches, I'm being bogged down into sweaty lobbies. Nothing but sweaty lobbies. Activision explained that the bulk of the matchmaking algorithms are focused on delta ping, your proximity from data centers, and how long it takes you to match with other players. Those elements are fairly obvious, and what players are most interested in is the fact that your in-game skill and performance have on the matchmaking algorithm. Now, Activision said skill is determined based on the player's overall performance. Skill that wins losses more, including mode selection and recent matches, as an overall metric across all multiplayer experiences. This is a fluid measurement that is constantly updating and reacting to our gameplay. Skill is not only a factor in matchmaking players against appropriate enemies, but also when finding teammates. They try to nuance it on all sides, and that is not true. And that is why skilled people will constantly have sweaty lobbies. There is no arcade, and this is the problem why Call of Duty is actually failing constantly every year, because it has lost its identity. It's constantly trying to be something it's not, and to fill in the gaps, they're constantly looking at other games. They're looking at Fortnite or looking at Battlefield, they're looking at all these companies and all these other franchises to implement things in their own game to make it a whole. But in essence, Call of Duty has never been invented to be a sweatfest. Call of Duty has also always been a fast-paced arcade, quickly in, quickly out game. That's what it is, and it's constantly taking itself way too seriously. It's not an esport game. It can be. You can have a separate mode, just like Rainbow Six Siege, for example. You have a non-skill-based matchmaking casual environment where you can just drop in and out without any penalties. But there is no difference anymore between rank play and normal online multiplayer. Yeah, of course, there are some set of rules that are different, but in essence, the skill-based matchmaking is just as strong. So, and they said these algorithms have been in development since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and I was looking online, and that was actually quite funny that was destroyed so hard. So Modern Warzone said today Activision confirmed that skill-based matchmaking has been in Call of Duty since COD 4 Modern Warfare 2007. That's what they're saying here as well. And one of the Brian Bright claims that it's bullshit. He was a former Call of Duty developer that said that that's horseshit. And I don't buy that, because with Modern Warfare 2007, lobbies didn't broke up. And if you want skill-based matchmaking to work, you need lobbies to break up, because every match you need to break the whole bunch apart, and individually the algorithm is going to calculate who you're going to be teamed up with. And that's why I actually, for me, multiplayer is dead on arrival every year. Resurgence is still the best way to go. If you want to play team deathmatch, play Resurgence, because skill-based matchmaking is out of the question there. So I don't believe this at all. I think it's one of the biggest horseshit that I've seen in terms of just throwing something at the community and hoping that it sticks. Skill-based matchmaking is extremely strong. It's really focused on your skill and how many kills and that. And every match that is going to be reevaluated, and it's good to put you in lobbies that will make you sweat every time. For me, multiplayer, I can't play it any longer than maybe 14 minutes, maybe half an hour, something like that. Then I'm already done with it. Okay, well, there is some good news around the corner, and that is the season 2 content drop, right? So, to be fair, I'm pretty decent okay with this, We have Fortune's Keep that is coming back. For me, I'm still a bit, my brain is a bit milkshake, but I was really hoping that it's a Warzone map, right? So, and not specifically for zombies, right? So, but I'm happy. Fortune Keep was a good map, so I'm pretty happy with that. If I'm looking at the new multiplayer maps, 4 new weapons, aftermarket parts, including underbarrel chainsaw, ranked play for both Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone, new zombies, events, challenges, and secrets, and skeletal team. Okay, fine. If we're looking at the multiplayer, I think it was about 6 maps of 4. Yeah, here, a massive multiplayer map offering. 4 new core 6v6 maps. And I think they're actually, the one is pretty small. I like these. So, 2 map variants, horde points, okay. So, I think from a content perspective, this is actually great. But this is also the problem with Call of Duty. It starts to get okay to good at the end of the life cycle, near the end of the life cycle. Now, Season 2, now the new content is dropping. To be fair, I'm actually hoping that they can come quickly with Verdansk, but I think that is going to come with the new Call of Duty. So, as a summary, guys, Modern Warfare 3 layoffs. I hope for the best. I hope that they're restructuring the organization, focus on output and quality instead of whatever they're focusing on. Skill-based matchmaking, that was just a horseshit statement. Horseshit, absolutely horseshit. And Season 2 actually looks pretty decent to me. So looking forward what you guys have to say about this, about these 3 topics. And for now, I will see you all soon when I'm better. Bye.